We need to be known as people who have experienced the grace of God, and we're offering it to the community around us. You know, the last church I pastored was in Las Vegas, Nevada. Great place to have a church. Full of very righteous people. It was like an exclusive country club. I'd only been there, well, I went there out there secretly from Andrews University. I snuck out there one weekend and turned up at the church where nobody knew who I was. They had no idea that the conference was actually offering me the position of being pastor of this church. And I never told anybody about myself. I just turned up at the church to see what it was really like, and do I really want to go to this place? And the elder of the church was standing at the door greeting people. And he heard my accent. And he says to me, "You're not an American." I said, "No, praise God, I'm not." You know? I kept a straight face. "Are you an Australian?" I said, "Incredibly, I am." You know what the next thing he says to me? This is my introduction to the church that I'm thinking of coming to pastor. This is what he says to me. "Does your wife wear a wedding band?" That's my greeting at the church that I'm actually considering being the pastor. I nearly turned away and walked away right then. This is the leading elder of the church. He doesn't know me? I said to him, as a matter of fact, she does. And I said to him, the acid test of your Christianity would be if you came to my country and your wife was with you and you moved into a motel together and she didn't have a wedding band on, every believer in Australia would believe that you were living in sin. Because in Australia you're not married legally without a wedding band. And he didn't know what to say. And it almost caused me to miss several of the best years of my life, but I praise God I never allowed myself to be diverted. We developed a church there that was open to sinners. You could come into our church on Sabbath morning, you could stand up, you could say, "I'm hurting, I'm weak, I'm enslaved to sin, or I'm sick," whatever it is. Like the woman that walked in one Sabbath morning, a 70-year-old woman, she raised her hand when I said, "Is there anyone needing ministry here today?" And dozens of hands were going up, but I picked this woman. I said, "Come on up here and tell us about it." She's a stranger, just walked in. She said, "I've just lost a lung to cancer. I've been a heavy smoker. They've now detected cancer in my other lung and I'm scared to death." She said, "I'm a Catholic. I've called the priest many times. He won't come and visit me. And I heard about this church." She said, "I hope it's okay if I share." I said, "It's quite okay." And she told her story. She's weeping. She said, "I'm frightened. I don't know what to do." And I said to the congregation, "What do you want to do with this precious lady here?" 40 people, I'm not exaggerating, 40 people got up out of the pews and came up on the platform in the middle of the church service and put their arms around her and fell on the floor together, knelt around her, prayed for this beautiful woman. You know, I had the privilege of baptizing that woman, and I said to myself, God's manifesting his love here because we're accepting ungodly people and needy people. And we're simply offering them the grace of God, his love, his forgiveness, his power in their lives. How's your faith this evening? Amen. This is the kind of church we need to become so that the grace of God can grip every one of us.